Hello, my lovelies. Thank you for the well wishes. I'm definitely on the road to recovery, just a little niggly throat thing, but I'm getting there, and I am very slowly trying to work my way around to seeing all your videos. But I wanted to get this one in before more time passes, and I think we've got a week ahead of rain, which means no charge for our solar panel and too noisy with the rain to do any videos. So I'll probably just be watching all your videos for the next coming week. Okay, let's start with decks. So the deck in September, certainly early September, during Virgo season, was the Green Witch, and this is relatively speaking newish to me. I can't think how long I've had it, a few months. It's one of those decks that I was in and iron about. Some people love the backs. I'm not that keen on them. I'm not a very witchy deck person. My brand of witchery is a bit old school, but what I mean is, you know, pointy hats and that sort of thing. But I do actually have the mini everyday witch. What was it about this deck? So this deck just kept, so yes, that's why it was a little bit of a surprise. Not that it's that witchy, to be honest. It's very more pagan-y, Anglo-Saxon-y, some sort of thing like that. But normally I'm very I choose my decks very just it's not even intuitive, it's whimsy. Sometimes it's which one's calling out to me and whatever, but this one just kept calling me and calling me and calling me every day. It got a little bit uncomfortable, actually. I really wanted to use another deck, but for my daily reads, the Green Witch, the Green Witch, the Green Witch, and she's turned out, it's a she for some reason, she's turned out to be just really lovely, and lovely in readings, as in just one of those easy friendships, everyday sort of decks. But then I discovered that this is actually my life in here. Okay, I'm not Anglo-Saxon, and but you know, I live on land and have a few animals, and we plant trees and grow food, or try to. Not the best year this year, but this is sort of I don't know, there's just so much of my life in here. And you know, I harvest herbs, and you know, other than a stately home, this is where we live, surrounded by sheep. And we don't have a lovely stone building, but the idea of the hearth and the home is very much, the standing stone's not too far from here. And there's a card here that is this one. There you go. Queen of Pentacles. This is literally me. And I mean me in energy, but we also have Mr. Oak just outside, and I have a wooden bench under there, and I harvest my herbs, my little basket, and I sit there. And I was laughing to myself thinking, well, other than the huge pentacle and the dove or white bird, and then I remembered one night, it was so loud I actually had to come out and have a look. Got out of bed with my lantern, went out and found sitting there was a barn owl, a beautiful white barn owl, just hooting and just looking at me. And I got fairly close. I got incredibly close, and it never flew away, which is what they would normally do. I used to wear skirts. I don't now. It's very impractical on the land. But I just feel that's just so me. Anyway, enough about this one. But it was a great reader. It was just but it just insisted on reading. As much as I loved it, I sort of was relieved when the energy started to shift from Virgo to Libra, that it did let me go. The oracle I was enjoying in September was the Empathic Oracle. I have the other two decks by these creators, and I do enjoy them, but this one's quite different. Samey but different. Aesthetically samey, but very different thing. I consider myself an empath, and it does have that vibe. I do like the feel of these. Very super matte. Very primitive, simplistic drawings, but a really good reader. I just really like this one. I enjoyed that mostly in the beginning of the month, so I'm already feeling a bit detached from it and wondering what I read. But I do remember enjoying it at the time. But I've moved on. But it was lovely. It was a really good one. I do recommend this one, I suppose. It's a nice little book with coloured and just good messages, really nice messages. I brought out the Moon Oracle, which I hadn't used in a long time. Thinking of astrology decks and getting rid of one of mine, and then I remembered I had this one, so I went back to it and gave it a go. Enjoyed a play with it. It's its own system. It's not tarot. It's oracle, but it's a very specific system. So you have, as you can see, goddesses, then the other mansions, and which are sort of, I think they're like the houses with the decans. If you know astrology, you know what I'm talking about. And then you have waning air moon, first quarter air moon, you know, that sort of thing, full fire moon. So through the elements and the phases of the moon. Yeah, it's quite fun, but I have to admit, after maybe a week of having a bit of a play with it, I haven't picked it up again. But I think it's one of those decks. It is a system, so but it did remind me that I am okay with it, and it is all right. It's obviously something I'm not going to pick up too often, but I did enjoy that. Okay, so new decks. I had a bit of a busy month with new decks. The first one is the Visionary I Ching cards. I have done an entire sort of walkthrough-y, it's not quite a walkthrough, but I don't know, my version of whatever that is. These are stunning. They are beautiful. I haven't really sat down properly and done full readings. I've done quick ones here and there, but I think this one would have been during Virgo season really lovely, but then I got ill and life and whatever. But I have a feeling this will definitely be a Virgo and September sort of deck for me. Not that it'll be till next September that I'll bring it back out, but also wintry though as well. Okay, but these are absolutely gorgeous, and I know these are a keeper. Second one, the Raincoast Pocket Tarot. Wow. Okay, so this has been on my wish list since it came out, and at the time I hadn't bought indie decks, so I've crossed that threshold now. So the only way is down, I'm afraid. But there was a time that the idea of the cost of an indie deck was just horrifying to me. I thought, how can I possibly spend that? And I've given myself that permission. And it's well, I've done a deck interview video, and you'll see that coming up. And you see me chat about it. So this is the pocket edition, and it's so fantastic that I had a moment thinking, oh, why didn't I spend that little bit more? Because it was about cost. You know, being in the UK, it's also the postage as well. It just adds so much. But I did think, oh, I should have gone the larger one. But you know what? It is really, really busy. And that's the other thing. It was a busy and colourful deck, and that did make me waver. But I think maybe if the cards were larger, they would be too much in my face. It's such an intense deck, but this, and it's a he, this one. I don't ask. I don't know. I don't even know myself. It's just what comes out. But yeah, I've done the interview, and so I'll talk about it there. But fantastic, love it. Forever deck. Then very early in the month, I got Land Sky. This is a system as well. I won't go into this, but I'll show you just a little bit the cards. They are beautiful. If you have the decks, White Sage Tarot, it's the same creator. So you recognise also the aesthetic and the format. These do require some time to really sit with them and work out what the you know, work out the system and you know, just pay some respect to that system that's gone into them. And beautiful though. The Art of Kundalini showed up all the way from Australia, and this is due to Evie showing it on her channel, Fairy Wren Whispers. I love the looseness in the art style, very supportive. It's a style I can really vibe with. Just makes me think of sort of my art journaling and whatnot. Allow timing to be divine. So yeah, these are lovely and colourful and very supportive. Really nice deck. And then I got the Black Tarot. I've been waiting for this one for so long. It just kept not so much was it going out of print or just not available. It just kept being unavailable, and it was one of those ones that just kept popping up in on Facebook groups and that sort of thing. And you know, I would forget about it and it'll come back up, that sort of thing. And then somebody gave me a heads up saying, guess what, it's available. So I just snapped it up immediately. Don't know why my head's having trouble. So I've mentioned it on my, look at that, edged in black already. I didn't do that. It comes edged in black, super matte. Now I'm mentioned on my channel that I don't do black and white decks, and I had to finally admit that. And what it is harsh white, so that really stark black and white, that white that's almost the border of cards, you know. Something about that just puts me off. And but this is more like a black and grey deck, you know. You do have the strong tonal differences, but this is really intense, really. This will be my winter deck. Look at that. Is it showing? That's the Devil. That's the Hermit, one of my favourites. Possibly the only thing I'm not crazy about are these geometric things. They're not easy images. They're confronting. It's like looking down into an abyss. It's you could say it's obviously shadow work. Funny enough, I don't. It's not shadow work that I would use this for. But I can imagine somebody doing so. But it's definitely for going in deep and exploring. Look at that hangman. Look at that. I don't know if you'll pick it up. This tiny little, I don't know, it could be a figure, it could be anything hanging off this cliff. It's amazing. So there's a few skeletal type things. It's mostly sort of this dark ethereal type imagery. But it's disturbing. I find it disturbing, and that's really good. But disturbing in a good way. In a way that I'm like, okay, bring it on. I just can't believe how long I've waited for. This is just mass market. It's not even indie. It's just, it just sells out. And yeah, I don't know how it works, but it sells out very quickly. I think after I bought it, it was sold out in a couple of days, but it does become available. Wow. Okay, last one. This one's special for me. The Brady Tarot. Finally. I saved up for it. I got it. And how amazing that... Okay, I can't even remember now. It was either right before... This leads me to my story for the month. It was either right before or right after, and I've forgotten now. But it was super close. It was a beautiful synchronicity. Okay, so I was super lucky to win. I'm shedding art supplies. I was super lucky to win a shamanic reading from Manuela at Place of Stillness, and I just can't speak highly enough of her. She's just one of these souls that is authentic, and if you know me well, you know that's really high praise. She's just authentic, and on top of that, her reading was fantastic. Now, you know, to be fair, she read for a bruja, she read for a shamanic practitioner, she read for somebody who's been on a spiritual journey for a few decades. It was unlikely she was going to say anything that was going to shock me, but everything she said was spot on in confirming where I was headed, what I was struggling with. It was just wonderful, because no matter how much you know something, hearing it from another voice is wonderful to have it confirmed. And intuitively, she chose the Brady Tarot for me to use in her reading. I think I must have mentioned it on her. I say intuitively. I think I had mentioned it, and she said that, but I couldn't remember mentioning it. But she thought, you know, that feels right. You mentioned it, it feels right. And then this one arrived right before it, like I said, or right after it. I just can't remember. So wonderful to win a reading. I almost never win anything. I mean, I don't like to say I never win anything, because that's not a good vibe to put out there. But you know, I was doing it more to support her giveaway, and I won it, so that's fantastic. And it was such a treat, you know, for somebody like me who's always doing and giving for others, and doing readings for others, and doing healings for others. It was such a treat to receive a reading back. It really was beautiful. And so with this one, oh, look at that. I know a lot of you don't do animal decks, and I do have a video that I've been planning for at least a month to do. And I'll talk all about that then, but for now, this one. So it's a deck that I had and ahed about, and it's taken me time to get there. After having the animal totem, I knew this one I could have. And then I got the reading with this one, and then to have it in my hand and, you know, be seeing the same cards that were, you know, in the PDF. This is so powerful. It's so different from my other animal decks. I absolutely love it. I do not regret spending the indie money on it at all. This is one of my most powerful animal decks now. And like I said, it has that, oh, fantastic. It has that extra special energy because I've got a reading done for me. Okay, we need to move on. I also, this is a deck I already had, but I mentioned in my previous month, I think in August, that 3 cards came heavily damaged, and it's come all the way from Australia, and you know, the costs and all of that, and waiting for it, and I had saved up for it and all of that, and then 3 cards were so badly damaged. And I contacted Inner Hugh. The chap there, Ben, was great about it, and he said, I'll send you those 3 cards, and he did, and they arrived, and oh, look at that abundance. And this deck is just so great, and just works great with I don't pair it with Well Done Known, but I can imagine wonderful pairs fantastically with their deck. It's just one of my very easy go-to oracles now. If I just if nothing else is especially calling out to me, then this is a good, just good, reliable deck. So happy with that, happy to have cards that feel better, and then was able to feel like I could start using it properly. Okay, so decks I moved on. I'm going to try and move one way or the other, so then I'm going to attempt to put things on the side there. So the first one is Dream Enchantress, and it just didn't, I just did not gel with that deck at all. It's a sort of I think the creator says that it's just some the beings are from her imagination, so this, they sort of have a Lord of the Rings elf, that sort of elf vibe, a bit of a fae vibe, some mixture in between with a bluey alieny sort of tint. Maybe that's the bit, the alieny tint, that didn't quite gel with me. But just in general, it just didn't work for me. There is a prettiness about, maybe not pretty is the word, but there is a, it's very feminine deck. Even the kings look like they were supposed to be women, but with masks on. So it was, I just couldn't, there was no fit. So bye. The second one, Renaissance. Well, talk about how, you should look through a deck before you buy it. I 99.9% of the time I do, but my favorite types of decks, well, I probably have a few favorites now, but one of them is Renaissance decks or medieval, oldie worldy decks. I love. I saw the majors for these, and I thought, yeah, I don't even have to go any further. This is a seller. And nope, it's yeah, the art is not for me. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, so the third one is the Anna K. I don't know why I bought this deck. At the time, I saw plenty of walkthroughs. There is no excuse. I saw what the problems were with it. I think I just thought there was enough in there. I think I was aching for the Green Witch and didn't know it. And now that the Green Witch is in my home and I love it to bits, I think that was a kind, because it has sort of that vibe. I think, is from what I remember, that Anglo-Saxony, pagan-y kind of harvest vibe. But just a few of the faces in there and bodies, or just odd, and having to go at the artist or anyone's taste. It's all personal, right? It's all subjective, and I was not attracted to it. So that one's gone. The fourth one is the Ancestors deck. This one was one of those ones where you want to love, and I took out the suits, I rearranged, I measured like 100 times how I could cut them down, because they are quite large, but it just wasn't working because some cards just came right to the border, and you lose this and lose that. Then I did okay, which ones do I love, which ones can I tolerate, and which ones do I dislike. The problem is the like and dislike pile was about 50-50. I loved the Sacred Circle suit in that deck. Some images were really lovely. Egyptian aesthetics, I don't vibe with very well. They have to, ancient Egypt, I should say, they've got to be done in a certain way, and some of the art in this deck was that hit and miss. Like I said, the Sacred Circles was lovely. Some of the more mundane ancient Egyptian life was lovely. The was it the Arthurian sort of suit, that just in that, no, it just didn't vibe. Anyway, I tried and tried, and I thought, I even thought I could use it as an oracle, but then I've got things like the Weavers and so many shamanic decks, and I thought, no, it deserves to go to a home where somebody is going to just use the whole thing and appreciate it. The other one was the mini fairy. I have lots of lovely fairy decks, the pips and all that. It just didn't work for me, this one. But yes, it does feel good to, as decks have come in, to move along the ones that are, I don't want things on my shelves that are not going to be used. Oh, okay, so that moves on to what else in September. So life, perfect for Virgo. I got myself a couple of new little bookcases that are actually DVD cases, so they're much narrower, which is great. And I've rearranged my decks. Shall I show you my shelves a little bit? I think it's getting a bit dark. If I manage to, I might cut it in. Okay, so that was great, rearranging and displaying my decks properly. And we also got some chickens, new 5 new ex-battery, ex-caged birds. I'll see if I can put the video there. Hello. Chook, 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 chook. Well, that's Ginger. She'll always come. Hello, Judith.
She's a fat one.
Yeah. We're going to have some? Wow. Look at that. Even if I just saved you from the bramble. And you're trying to...
More by her stomach.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she doesn't normally come, so that's really good. Well, she's still wary, but... There we are.
Have a look at
There we are. There we are.
Is that Edith?
Uh,
The fattest one I can see.
that's Edith, yeah. That's Edith drinking. And there's 2 little barely feathered. Hello. Well done, look at that. And there's our magnificent Napoleon. Yeah. Alright, how about we share with the other girls, eh? Look at these 2 poor things. Come on, Marjorie. Come on then. Chook, 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 chook. Chook, 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 chook. Oh, happy chookies. So yes, a bit of a struggle with them. The 2 old girls just didn't take to them, so they've been separated for a week. And in the video there that you saw, this was just a couple of days ago, and I sound possibly a little extra happy with them because I hadn't seen them for a few days, been ill. And but we've put them together today, and they seem to be, well, chickens can be quite vicious in their pecking order, but what we didn't want was the others not to get a chance to bond with Napoleon, that's our cockerel, and get used to their environment. So it's wonderful to have that little extra life and around the place, and that noise. It's really great. So not much to say on YouTube. I've cut back, and I'm making sure that I'm taking a break between making videos, commenting on videos, watching videos, and pulling right back from online life and doing my thing. What else? Oh yes, I did some. I harvested some yarrow. I was saying the Queen of Pentacles and the Green Witch. So I harvested some yarrow. I used my sun water from the summer solstice, so the very best sun water, and did some sort of essence, flower essence type concoction. So what else on? Yeah, so I put out the first category in deck combining. I uploaded the first 2 parts of my charm casting. I still have the rest of both of those series to carry on with and upload. I will get round to them when I can. I definitely want to get those up for you. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yes, that's right. I turn 50 in a few days, and that's not the fun bit. The So with my solar return coming and being a big one, the 50, I'm really excited about that one. I just love the idea of being 50, and you know, I have everything I need. I have a wonderful family. I'm living where I want, finally, where I want to live. I feel very fortunate and blessed and full and satisfied and content. I can buy myself tarot decks. I can buy myself art supplies. I tell my family I don't need anything. You know, if we can manage to go out, which I don't know, with me and my daughter still coughing and mask wearing and all of that. I don't know if that's going to happen, but other than that, I don't need anything. And I thought I'll give back, so I am going to do a giveaway. If I hadn't been ill, I would have already done the video, and I was going to launch the giveaway on my birthday or around it. But yes, that's not happened, has it? So, you know, as Mr. Lennon said, life is what happens while you're making other plans. So instead, I'll launch the giveaway. Well, as soon as I can do the video, to be honest. And I'm not entirely sure when that's going to be. Then anyway, hopefully it'll come up in October sometime, so it's somewhat connected to my birthday. And but it's a big one. It's a big one, guys. And I'm going out on a limb and doing something I don't normally do, and that's promoting myself, because full moon Aries, you know, don't behave how you've always behaved, don't do the same thing. And one of the things I've always struggled with is promoting myself. It makes me cringe. I've put all these judgments on it, and no need for me to go into it all now, but the point is, in the giveaway I am going to be promoting myself. and yeah, anyway, you'll see. But it is a big one. There will be tarot involved, there will be oracle involved, there will be charms involved. I'm almost giving it away. Well, it is a giveaway. Yeah. Hope you're all well, or getting better if you've been unwell. Love you all. Blessings.